you have an idea, don't focus on what you don't have, focus on what you do have. And just because we don't know like the technical terms, like trust me, you got something and you're onto something, especially if you can't escape it, and especially if it's not just helping yourself, but it's uplifting your people and your community and other people. And so
hello out there, and welcome back to the Be Well magazine interview series. My name is Crystal Thompson, and I am the editor-in-chief of Be Well magazine. And as editor-in-chief, my focus is always to bring the readers meaningful, encouraging, refreshing, uplifting, and of course, inspiring articles and advice in each and every issue. And I'm striving to do that again today to preserve the eloquence of each and every word printed and spoken. I could not possibly deliver such a masterful issue without my teammate who is partnering with me for today's highly anticipated event. Michael, thank you. And Michael, tell everyone what you do with Be Well.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you again, and thanks for joining us for another episode of Be Well for Women. So I'm the marketing director of the group here, and I'm excited to be in a different role. Typically, I'm behind the camera, and you don't see me. I'm kind of behind the scenes running things, but I'm joining Crystal today for our interview, and I'm excited to be able to kind of share an inspiring story that prompted us to want to reach out and see if we can get an interview on paper or on camera, I should say, and then we'll be here today to be able to share that with you. So I'm looking forward to this.
Be Well community and those who are joining us from near and far, we have with us today a true game changer. She and her team are the founders of Go Girl Ride, the newest transportation ride share company designed with a much higher purpose. And I know everyone out there has heard of Uber and Lyft, but today we highlight Go Girl Ride. This is truly a plot twist, guys, and we are blessed to have the founder of Go Girl Ride with us today. Welcome, Miss Chanel Doyle. We cannot thank you enough for being here. How are you?
hi, Crystal and Michael. Thank you so much for having me. I am blessed to be here and blessed to be speaking with all you amazing, beautiful people.
Thank you so much. Chanel, I got to say this. You are a bit of a celebrity. You've been recognized by American Express as one of their 100 for 100 founders for change, which is quite a global honor and designation. And I believe it comes with a nice grant of about $25,000. So when I reached out to you, it was a Hail Mary. I knew you were in the midst of a major undertaking, and we are just so excited to have you here. Give us a snapshot of who Chanel Doyle is.
Absolutely. Well, I was giggling. I am not a celebrity. I'm just little 4'11" Chanel from Long Beach. My mom is from Virginia, the Portsmouth area. My dad is from New Orleans. Shout out to them, who dat. But thank you so much. Lachelle is one of my co-founders. I have two co-founders, Lachelle Harris and Ebony Smith, and Lachelle saw the email, and we have like a little pre-screening that we do now when folks reach out to us. And really it's, important to me that I connect with my people. I feel like, it's really cool. I'm so grateful for American Express and other media that has, come our way. I'm really grateful. I don't take it for granted. God is very good. But it's like, I'm excited. I get excited whenever it's like my people reach out, like, yes, let's talk. And I will get into what I kind of experienced as an Uber driver, but I love talking to what I call like more seasoned folks. I feel like are a grossly underserved community. And I feel like are often, an afterthought and are often forgotten. And I'm just like, no, that's where all the wisdom is, right? That's where all the seasoning is. I feel like we have so much that we can learn. I am also an HR professional. And so one thing that I've learned in the industry is that the most underutilized group of folks, I would say, is typically around like that 60 plus range is what I would say, who have so much to offer and honestly who want to work, who still want to know what's going on and who we can learn from. And so it's really important to me. So when I saw who your audience was, a 50 plus audience, I was like, absolutely. And it's, it's our people. So it was just important to me. And so a little bit of background about me. I was an Uber driver. I did that for a few years, and a lot of women in particular would get in my car and they'd be like, "Your car is clean," and that would be the first thing they comment on. And then they would be like, "I'm so happy that you're a woman," and I would just hear the most horrific stories about, either just it being awkward, either people being creepy, the drivers, or asking too many questions, or being like awkwardly silent. And, women had really negative experiences that they would share with me about being harassed, assaulted, and even worse sometimes. And I would also speak to other drivers who would share their negative experiences. And I had a really scary moment where I was sexually harassed. And unfortunately, it's something that you kind of get used to, especially as a woman. You just get used to uncomfortable situations. And I was not happy with the way that it was handled by Uber. And I was like, there has to be something out there. There has to be an alternative. And so I just started looking to see if there were other companies out there in the transportation industry who focused on safety. Like, let's just start there. And I really wasn't finding much. And so with my background being in HR and also customer service, I have just always had what I thought were, I guess, like, to me, it was normal. Like, this should just be common sense, but really radical ideas about safety and how to protect women. And so I sat on it for so long because I'm just, I was like, I'm just one person. I don't know what to do. I'm not in the tech space at all. I just like to drive. And I've always loved to drive. My dad was in the Navy growing up. He's a retired chief. And so we would just travel all across the country. So I just have always found comfort in being either behind the wheel or in the back seat. That's just my thing. I just love it. And so I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do this. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. And so I just started thinking about a name, which came pretty easy. And yeah, I sat on the idea. I registered the business. I've been working at it for 4 years, actively for about 2 years. And then I got the opportunity to present what was then just the concept at an event here in Portland to a network of 2,000 women. And that night, I mean, my team and we were like bum rushed, like, oh my gosh, okay, can y'all take us? Can you drive us right now? Like, they wanted us to drive that event. I was like, whoa, okay, what did I just stumble on? But it was that night, really, I think that's when we realized, okay, this isn't just a fluke. This is like really needed. And so we started working on it, started putting a team together. We call it the GG team. That's our team. And we've been working at this. The real breakthrough came, we decided to go through a brand auditing and a bunch of stuff last September. And we have an I Fund Women campaign growing. And through that, American Express, I had applied for like a general grant. I just submitted, my company, Go Girl Ride, and my information. And they took an interview with us, and I thought they were just letting us know, oh, this is a really cool opportunity. And then they were like, actually, no, we selected you as one of our 100 for 100 founders of change. And so we went through this awesome 100 days of resources where they gave us a grant and then also gave us some trainings, and we got to network and talk to, just different people in various industries. And it was amazing. And so I was able to, that helped us with like our overhead costs and stuff that we've had. Because as you can imagine, this is it's expensive. It is, like, if I'm just being real. And so from that, though, things just have taken off. There's been some local media that found out about what I was doing. I've done a couple of local news segments and, magazines and things like that. And now we're getting national attention, and people are just reaching out and, signing up nationally, which is really great for us. And we're preparing we have our cars now, our first couple of cars, but like the local communities in Portland, which is where we are, that's the first city where we're going to launch, is is in Portland, they're really like on board with it. So local government has reached out to us, the state has reached out to us, and we're partnering with a company that's called Fourth, and they work with local city governments and companies all over the country, actually, to get folks to go electric. And so I'm excited because we want to go electric with our cars. And so I'm really grateful for that. They're helping us with some grants and funding and vehicles and all sorts of stuff. And so we have our cars already. We're still working on the logistics like insurance and stuff like that. But I'm really grateful because we are probably maybe 12 or 13 weeks out from being on the road, and Portland is just our first city. So I'm grateful for that. We have a plan to launch nationally, a rollout plan. First, focus on cities where there are high rates of human and sex trafficking. That's really important to me, is to do my part to help really protect people, but protect women specifically.
That's pretty amazing. And it's like to hear the origin story from, something that you've taken an experience that you had that could be very traumatizing for people to go through, and then to think about like what that must be like for other people and create a solution so that you can minimize and reduce that happening. Like it sounds like oh so easy, like, oh, I had this idea one day, and then I wrote this thing, and American Express gave me some money. Now I have cars, and now we're ready to launch. So I can't imagine that it was just also in alignment and smooth that way, that, there had to be some ups and downs. So can you talk about like, how did you, one, find the courage to even decide to take that idea and put in some action steps to it? And then two, how did you surround yourself with people and identify people who can help you make this a real thing? A lot of people get stuck in a silo with their ideas. You have all these insecurities around it. It's hard to find people who are going to see the vision. So can you tell us a little bit about like, how did you end up getting over those two things, and how did you surround yourself with the GG team so that you can get to where you are today?
Absolutely. So the first thing that I did, I made like 2 or 3 safety videos, because I was like, well, I'm not in the tech space. I don't know what to do, but I just want to start bringing attention. So once I figured out what our name was going to be, I wanted it to actually be Go Girl. And I still want it to be Go Girl, but that domain costs like $300,000. So my really good friend, Lindsay, who is a phenomenal, if y'all ever want to look up someone, Lindsay Murphy, she does science shows for kids. She's well known and fabulous. She was like, you onto something. So she actually came up with the ride. We were just throwing out names. And so once we figured out Go Girl Ride, I created the social media page, our Instagram, and I put some safety videos up where I was just giving tips for women to stay safe in cars. And also I made some tips for men too. Like, this is what you can do to help women feel safe when you're transporting them or when they're transporting you. And I started getting comments on those. And then I started saying, sharing, well, this is actually what I'm working on. I just put it out there. I am not ashamed of my faith. And, something growing up, we say we come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord. And I am very much a testament of that. And so I was like, okay, God, I mean, you gave me this, so I know you're going to do it. I don't know how, but that's not my business.
Right.
I'm gonna just start putting literally put one foot in front of the other and see what happens. And so folks started commenting on it. And then a lot of drivers, were reaching out, and they're like, hey, whenever you get this going, I would love to be a driver. And as I started as I started researching what it, how to build a startup, I mean, one thing that you need to generate is interest. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, I have all these emails and all of this stuff. Let me go and create a website with signups, right? And so that's data, and investors need data.
Yeah.
And something, I want to say to anyone who's, watching this interview, if you have an idea, don't focus on what you don't have, focus on what you do have. And just because we don't know like the technical terms, like, trust me, you got something and you're onto something. especially if you can't escape it, and especially if it's not just helping yourself, but it's uplifting your people and your community and other people. And so, yeah, I just took that data, that was data where folks were reaching out. And then I can't explain it, but even when I was a driver, still driving for Uber, I started telling people what I was doing, what I was working on. And I remember, I mean, I pick up so many people, but, I would pick up people who were like, oh, well, I work for the city and this is who we actually contract with. We would love to have a service like this. Take my card. Or a local, a newscaster would be in my backseat, or a producer. And they'd be like, whenever you get this going for real, reach out. And so it just it's happened organically. And from me just doing it, I don't have a real blueprint outside of that, except for just sharing kind of my passion and what my mission is with folks. And then industry people just reaching out like, hey, let me help you with this. And that's how the team has formed too. So one of my co-founders, Ebony Smith, she's from Athens, from Georgia, but she was in Brooklyn at the time she was working. And I remember she made a donation to our iFund Women. And then she sent me a video message right away. She's like, hey, I'm Ebony. If you ever need help with anything, I just want to help you. Please let me know. And so I don't know why, but I just felt inclined to message her back right away. And I was like, well, actually, let's talk. Tell me what you do. And so we started talking, and then she took over doing our social media. Fast forward a year later, and she moved here to Portland. She moved from Brooklyn, totally uprooted, changed her life. And I mean, she's here. Lachelle Harris, my other co-founder, she's also my best friend. But she's a veteran. She has always worked in at a high level, like exec admin, position. And she's really good with numbers. And she just wanted to help me. And so she would just be like, what can I do? What can I do? And it's just kind of organically formed. Our other GG team member, her name is Phoenicia Chadwick. I've known Nisi since I moved to Portland for the first time. When my dad got stationed here, I was 9 and she was 8. And she's just always been like my, just like one of my really good friends. But she just helps. She's like our all around helper. She just helps us get stuff done, And so also our other GG team member, Tiara Turner, she did some work for us as well. She was a good friend. She's an entrepreneur. I just feel like our team has formulated just organically, and folks have just kind of come on board with it. And, one thing about us is we've always, operated in excellence, even when we felt like we, didn't have everything we needed. We felt like it was important to present ourselves well. And I think presenting ourselves well is also what made us attractive to the experts. And the pandemic actually helped us a lot too, because before the pandemic, we were like, okay, we need to get this money. We need to get office space. How are we going to do this? We were just focused on all of these like really big things. And while the pandemic was, tragic and it's terrible, it allowed us time and space to like focus on actually making this happen. And what I realized is opportunity is out there. So I just started reaching out to organizations, domestic violence shelters and, schools. And they've been reaching out to us and just saying, hey, this is what we're doing. And that's how we kind of have formed the business. And so now we have, these partnerships to show for it.
Look at that. Timing is such just a beautiful thing, especially as I listen to you speak, because you talked about the pandemic, you talk about it being an organic process, but the reality is, and I say this because our next issue that comes out July 1st for Be Well, the theme is collaboration is the new currency. And you are just speaking right to that theme with the GG team and with the fact, and you're also speaking to entrepreneurs, and that sometimes you have to talk about your passions. You have to share what you're doing, what you're embarking upon, because that's how you're going to, get the people on your team and then your partnerships that you need to rise. So it's just wonderful to hear that. I love how this has come together for you guys. Another question I have for you now, I own a travel business. And as the nation begins to reopen post-pandemic, as you talked about, travel in general is on the rise. I have a daughter, I have nieces, I have clients who are quick to call on rideshare companies to get from here to there. And of course, I want all of them to be comfortable and confident when they do. And so your slogan is "We meet you where you are." Can you explain how this slogan might help put us all at ease? How did you get there? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So we worked with there's our consulting agency that we worked with last year, CoFlow Co. Emily Weltman is the founder of that. And we went through this whole like exercise where we were just talking about like, what do we want? Like, who is Go Girl Ride? Who is Gigi, right? Like, that's what we call Go Girl Ride for short. Who is Gigi? Where is she going? Where is she headed? Where has she been? We just did these exercises and just started throwing out just phrases and words and things. And it was Lachelle, I believe, who came up with the slogan, "We meet you where you are." And what that really means is like, you get to be yourself. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to be on edge. You don't have to have your guards up when you get into your Gigi. We want you to know that we have thought about you, that we have considered you. And one of the ways that we do that is we're thorough. Like, I'm an HR girl. I'm passionate about it. So with Uber and Lyft and other companies, all you have to do usually is be able to pass a background check and a vehicle inspection, and that's it. They don't know you. You know what I mean? Like, and me being in HR, recruitment is so important to me. Like, no, I want to talk to you. I want to see who you are. I want to know, do you know how to talk to people? Do you know how to read the room, engage with people? Do you even like people? Let's start there. But more importantly, do your values align with our values? Because what I think a lot of drivers in these companies don't realize, it's like, so we're actually putting our lives into your hands, like behind the wheel, because driving is like dangerous and it's serious. And so for me, I was like, yeah, well, we're going to actually recruit. So we want you to sign up, be a driver. Of course, we want you to sign up, but we're going to interview you and see if you're actually a good fit. And we don't play about it. I don't play about it at all. I don't play about safety at all. It's so important to me. I know what it's like as a driver and as a rider. We all have uncomfortable rides and stuff like that. And so for "We meet you where you are," it just means like, you can go from point A to point B and you don't have to worry. We got you. Like that's essentially what it means. And I want to not just say it, but for us to actually like show it, like, you are good here. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's it seemed like it had like so much. It can go a lot of different ways about meeting people where they are. I was reading in your profile on Instagram, that you talk about people who may be in sex work or who may have different identities that they relate to, and it's kind of like letting them know. When I interpreted it, it's also that as well. It's like, regardless of where you are in that and how you identify, like, this is a safe place for you to be. I noticed that, and it's cool to hear that you have your cars now and that you're kind of getting to that point where you're getting all the logistics in place. I noticed one of the things that you were doing were selling safety kits, kind of as like a fundraiser type thing. And I'm like, now these are some interesting things inside of this box. I was expecting to see maybe a t-shirt and a little bracelet or something. So can you talk a little bit about how using the safety kits as a fundraising method to be able to support this financially, and then also like, how have people responded to them, and the things that are inside there?
So this is our actual safety kit right here. It's a cute little box. And when you open it, it says, "Please be safe," because there's some serious stuff in here. So we talk as if we're post-pandemic, but we're still in a pandemic. So I thought it was really important for us to have a face mask. And then there's a card that just kind of breaks down everything that comes. But the kit comes with a taser, and it's a real taser, which has a flashlight, and it also has an alarm on it. We hope that folks never have to actually use these safety devices, but unfortunately, it gets real, and you have to be able to protect yourself. And so for me, I didn't want us to just sell like a mask or a sweatshirt or a hat. Like those things are cool and it's great for brand recognition, but I wanted something that was on brand with us, and safety. That's our thing. That's our agenda. That's our motive, is keeping you safe. And so I wanted something that we could do while we're working on getting on the road that was tangible, that folks could use. And so that's how I came up with the idea of the safety kit. And folks have ordered it from all over. I mean, laws vary from state to state, but the feedback that we've received, folks are really grateful for it. And it also comes with pepper spray. I think if you don't have anything else, it's really important to keep pepper spray on hand. And that's something that's like legal for the most part everywhere. And then one that I was really passionate about was our seatbelt cutter and window breaker. A lot of times folks get stuck in their cars.
I
Or in
never
their
would have thought of that.
And so I thought this was really useful to have. And then my favorite thing in our kit is our brass knuckles. They're these little kitty ears. So they're cute, but look, they're sharp. So don't play. Don't, trust me, don't play.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's our safety kit. The support that we've received has been amazing. We've done very minimal, like if any advertising. I mean, it's on our website and we'll talk about it here and there, posted on our social media. We've been so focused on the business of the ride service, but we do actually have it available and probably should do a lot more marketing. But people buy them, and not only people, but organizations buy them in bulk. So
That's smart.
there's a local organization who bought one of our mini kits, which was for some of their students. So we couldn't have everything in here, but some things. And yeah, organizations, they buy them and people really love them. It was important for us to just have something that we could all use to protect ourselves in case you need to.
It was very thoughtful, and it's a brilliant idea to come up with that and still have it tied into the brand, not just by throwing the logo on there, but really kind of reinforcing your purpose and the message about, safety. So kudos to you and the team for coming up with that.
Thank you. I think it's important to be intentional. Just be intentional in our move. Like talking to y'all. I just, everything, it has purpose. It has meaning. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't serve us and it doesn't serve our community.
Wow. And the thing is, although it's unfortunate to have to, to feel the need to put these kids together, how intuitive for you to see the connection and to put them out there like that. I think that's amazing. Good for you. Good for you guys. Chanel, someone is probably asking right now when this service will be available to them, whether they are in Atlanta or Phoenix or Texas. What would you like to say to them?
Patience, y'all. We are coming, I promise. So in all of the places, Atlanta, I know you're in Houston. Michael, you're in
Phoenix.
In Phoenix.
Arizona.
All places with high rates of human and sex trafficking apps that you've actually mentioned. So our rollout plan, Portland is our first city. And Portland, while a lot of people here like to think it's a big city because it's certainly changed with gentrification, but really when you're here, especially people who move from other large, like actual real cities, big cities, you realize it's like a really big town. And so we want to launch here first because we want to get it right. Like we want to do this first, right? But our rollout plan, we're focusing on cities first with high rates of human and sex trafficking, because that is our purpose. It's to help, prevent that from happening, because it's just unfortunate. And that was another reason why I really felt urged to start Gigi at the time. A couple years ago, I felt like you couldn't turn on the news without hearing about Uber or Lyft or a taxi being a method that trafficking was taking place. And so I was like, again, we need a safer alternative that, considers actual people. And so you can actually sign up. That would actually help us. We do have people who sign up nationally. If you go to our website, that lets us know where we're needed. We have people looking, investors are absolutely looking at us, and we're getting ready to start pitching to VCs. What I will say is we're launching in 3 phases. Our first phase is our private ride service, like where it's like if you were in town somewhere, you just needed a ride, you call a service and you order a ride. We're focused on working with organizations and folks, like people can still order individual rides. That's our first phase. Our second phase, which is probably going to be launched in Portland, at least by the end of this year, if not a little bit sooner, is our fleet of vehicles, which is your traditional taxi service. And third is our third phase, which is our traditional ride share. That's your Uber and your Lyft. So we're in the preliminary planning stages of building that app. That's how we're scaling, is what that's called. Because what we don't want to do, obviously, like the outreach, the need, the demand, it's there, but we want to make sure that we do it right. And so for me, I was like, versus us just getting out there and not being able to keep up with demand, let's roll out like slowly. And honestly, it's not even that slow just because we are getting demand. But Portland is our first city, and we absolutely are planning to roll out, like I would say, over the next year or so in other cities. We want to get Portland right though. Absolutely.
Awesome. And here in a bit, I want you to definitely give us all of the information for your website. We want to, definitely promote you in the Be Well magazine so that everyone knows how to sign up and how to put their and express their interest in having you serve their community, their city, their state. I'm curious, do you foresee your the GG app being different than, or what type of differences do you foresee in the GG app compared to an Uber app or the Lyft app?
I can't give all our goodies away because we got eyes. The feds is watching, or whatever you want to say it. We definitely have people watching, but what I can say, one of the things that I'm really excited about, all of our GGs will have cameras in them. Like, I know sometimes you get into a car and it has a dash cam. We want to do what we can to ensure safety. We're taking safety precautions. So even when you get into your GG, like there's some things that you'll have to do. It's not like long or whatever, but just like to ensure that you're getting in the right car with the right driver, and also that the right rider is getting into the car. And some of the things, like when I was an Uber driver, I mean, there are just essential things that I think should just come with your ride. There should be like a charger in there. There should be a little snack, a little gum, a little water, hand sanitizer. I'll send y'all over a link to our commercial that we've already shot. It kind of previews like what comes with your GG. I also think it's really important. You never know who you're picking up and where you're taking them. And so even us having like our quiet mode. So when you order your ride, well, first, when you sign up, so on the app, when you sign up to be a rider, we ask some questions like, who's your favorite artist? What type of music do you want to listen to? Is profanity okay? Is it not okay? I know we've all gotten into cars and you like, what are you listening to? But imagine like if you get into a car and just like your favorite artist, like, I don't know, Sade is playing. That's nice, right? And if you've let us know ahead of time, headed to a party or not in the mood to talk, so we'll greet you because that's just what we're going to do. But outside of that, we want to be respectful of you and your space. Again, we meet you where you are. So there's a lot that absolutely goes into that. And so I think I'm excited most about some of the cool features that we have that I think are really going to differentiate us in our competitors.
That is absolutely amazing. How can we, communicate with you?
Absolutely. So you can you can find us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn at Go Girl Ride. It would be really helpful if you went to our website if you're interested, even if you're not in Portland. I don't care if you're in Nigeria. I mean, we get people all globally who reach out to us wherever you are. We want to know where you are because we want to know where we need to be to help you get to where you need to go. So you can go to our website, gogirlride.com, and you can sign up to be a rider, a driver. You can also be a supporter. We are working on funding. Of course, like I said, that's expensive. We have a crowdfunding campaign, I Fund Women. There's a link on our website that'll take you there if you want to be a supporter. You can also purchase a safety kit as well. If you go to our website, gogirlride.com, there's a store link and it'll take you to purchase a kit. That's how you can support us. And you can also support us just by putting good energy out there for us and spreading the word that a safe option, Go Girl Ride, is coming. Absolutely.
Janelle, hold up that box. Let everybody see it.
Yes.
That is an awesome kit.
Yeah.
Janelle is the founder of Go Girl Ride. She's taken center stage as a new on-demand rideshare transportation company. We are so very proud of you and your efforts, and we sincerely appreciate you being such a powerful and such a beautiful representative of the African-American community. Just thank you for telling your story today. Michael, Carmen, and I, we all wish you the absolute best. We hope that you will remain connected with Be Well, with our brand, and please don't forget about us when you become all rich and famous and all that. We look forward to supporting you throughout this entire journey. Trust and believe.
I will not, and I speak goodness over y'all too. Listen, when y'all have y'all festivals and events, hopefully we can be the driver for y'all. We will absolutely keep in touch. Like I'm not joking. I'm not even trying to sugar y'all up, but we felt like it was really important to connect and to talk with Be Well. And so I wish y'all the absolute best. And I just thank you for allowing me to share what my team and I are working on. And I also want to say we are inclusive. So we are for everyone. We're focused on the safety of women, femmes, non-binary folks. It's really important that we serve everyone. But yeah, we're here and we're excited. We're so grateful.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving us this time and to sharing your story to inspire our readers. This is just a good testament again of what it means to be being well connected, inspired, and informed. So we appreciate you sharing that and allowing us to bring others into your journey.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good one. Thank you so much.
You too.